I know you feel it, the burning in your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and definitely try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power.
Hello, and welcome to the Power Shut Up podcast. We are in the month of May. We're still on a high from April. As you all know, if you were tuning in, we celebrated all month long, and we just did giveaways every Thursday in April. We didn't even have guests on the show. We just gave stuff away because that's what I love to do, and we celebrated. So we are continuing to celebrate moms this month, and we have a dynamic duo, mother and daughter duo that we're going to share with you. But we're talking about films this week. We're talking about film. But before we get started, I wanted to actually first say happy birthday to all of those who are celebrating a birthday in the month of May. So happy birthday to you all. I also wanted to say happy anniversary to those who are celebrating love. I am one of those mushy gushy kind of people. So happy anniversary. I wish you all the love in the world. And I also want to say congratulations. So congratulations to all of you all who have started a new job, started a new or bought a new house. And actually congratulations to our guests who are on here that are getting ready to release a new film. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. I'm excited to have them. They've all been on this platform before. So they are no longer guests, they are family. But I wanted to really just remind everybody that we are here live on Thursdays, live on YouTube and Facebook, but we also stream on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Sharifa can remind me of the others. I always forget. But we like to tune in so we can talk to you one-on-one and in real time. So I'm hoping you're sharing with family and friends to join in, because this is going to be a great conversation. And we actually want you all to be a part of this film release. So it's happening June 1st. So we want to make sure that you have all the information you need so you can be there. But I wanted to introduce you to our guests. And this is a really informal, partly because you all have met them before, but the other part is because we're going to really get into the conversation about what's really going on here. So I know that periodically we will shout out some things that we're celebrating in the month of May as far as awareness. I think it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And there's some other things, the National Pet Month for those who didn't know, and actually National Nurses Week. And teacher and staff appreciation. So please keep those in mind, because we like to celebrate those who haven't been recognized or we've forgotten about them. So we have not forgotten about you over here. But I wanted to welcome our guests, and we have Fahim, we have Maya, and we have Mignon that are joining us. And if you all watched, it's from the Christmas Room film that is coming June 1st. So I actually want to let them, they're going to co-host with me tonight. Y'all going to co-host with me, but y'all used to this. This is old hat for them. So I wanted to really get into the reason. So Mignon, before we get started, we're going to talk a little to Fahim and Maya and see their relationship in the film. Give us a little background on what the Christmas Room is.
For me?
Yes.
Okay, so the Christmas Room movie is actually about a granddaughter named Grace, who comes home during the Christmas break vacation, and she discovers that her family have been wrapped up in doing everything they've been doing, and she discovers that something is wrong with granddad, and she starts noticing symptoms, unusual behavior, and she's pushing and pushing to try to get him help because she sees that something is not normal with him.
Well, and the reason why I wanted you to tell them that, because I think that a lot of people can relate, especially even the way you delivered on how it was found out, and from my even personal experience, that's you just kind of by happenstance you just kind of pay attention and think, okay, something's a little off. And what made you want to bring awareness to what I consider sometimes a hidden Alzheimer's is really kind of hidden. A lot of people don't talk about it. They don't understand it. So what made you decide to bring awareness to this?
Well, like a lot of other people have gone through it, we've gone through it too. My granddad had Alzheimer's. We have family members that had dementia. So it's really an area that, and even with us going through it, coming across new family members and friends that have gone through it, but they pass it along as old age. We're saying, you should definitely get them checked out because these symptoms are not always tied to old age and the aging, So I wanted to bring more awareness because just listening to people over the years talking about, oh no, it's normal for them to be, in their 70s and forgetting, or 80s and forgetting. And that could be true for some of the older ages, but at the same token, more and more younger people are being diagnosed with Alzheimer's and memory loss. So that's one of the reasons that's the main reason why we wanted to bring more awareness to people. So in the movie, you're going to be able to learn about other signs and symptoms that you see and hear about. It may not, the granddad, Isaiah, Fahim plays the role of Isaiah. So some of the symptoms that he's displaying and showing in the movie may not touch on what everybody's going through, but in other households, you're going to definitely hear other stories. Somebody's going to be in that audience and it's going to relate to it, and it's going to cause them to think twice. Maybe I better get my uncle, my aunt, my grandma, my mom checked out because everybody's symptoms are very different.
And I like that you're touching on that because I think we have, everybody has an idea in their mind and they're stuck in that one space. So it's not just a film that tells a story, but it's actually going to teach. And I love that. So I actually want Maya and Fahim. They're not new to the film industry. Maya's been in it, I think, pretty much all her life. And you've seen her before. And Fahim, they're Washington. Are you all Washingtonians?
Yes.
Everybody is a Washingtonian, so I'm excited about that. I'm really, really excited about it. We are representing in here tonight. But you both have also played on in other films, so I really kind of wanted to talk about your dynamic because it is the grandparent who is suffering from this, and then a granddaughter who's discovering this. And tell us a little bit about how this dynamic works through the film and what you brought to this this role. And we can start with Maya, and then Fahim, you can come on in.
Okay. So the dynamic between Grace and her grandfather Isaiah is they're pretty close. Grace has a younger brother, and it's not explicitly said in the film, but based off the dynamic, you can tell that Grace is kind of the favorite grandkid. Isaiah and Grace are really close, and when Grace comes home from college, she notices that, her granddad isn't acting like himself. And the family all around him, just kind of coined it as old age. But Grace, she because of how close she is with her grandfather, she knows that this is way too different. It's too drastic of a change from now and the last time I saw him for it to just be old age. So I do think that the dynamic between Grace and her granddad and how close they are played a huge factor as to why Grace was the one that saw the red flags and no one else in her family did.
Right, because you were so close to him that you were able to see it.
Yeah.
And Fahim, how was that for you? Because I know the challenge would be in this kind of role to remember, and I'm saying this in a strange way, but for you to remember to forget. You're on mute.
That's y'all fault.
We got you.
You know, I forgot to unmute this process. So again, I apologize.
No problem.
But for me, let me first off just start by thanking Mignon and Maya for allowing me the opportunity to participate in such a phenomenal project. Upon first meeting them was at another project, and the professionalism that was displayed with them in Shooting for Stars and what they did for that project was just incredible. And so when I got the opportunity to be a part of a project that they were producing, I was all in. You know, it didn't take much convincing because I already looked at the professionalism and the display of basic, just like family and love that they demonstrated. So I was already in on that. And then upon getting the script and reading it, you know, it was an emotional roller coaster ride for me because I am in that era of an elderly person, so to speak. You know, I'll be 60 this year. So what the dementia piece and the Alzheimer's piece struck me because Grace is my granddaughter in this movie, but I have a granddaughter who's actually in college for real. And so I was able to draw upon, and she's just like Grace. Her attitude, her dementia, her abilities to see things that the average person is not seeing and to recognize it. And she loves me just like Grace. So I was able to tap into that relationship that I actually have with my granddaughter and play off of that and say, this is how she is. And even to this day, she'll call me and ask me stuff. She'll say, Granddad, you forgot this or you forgot that. And I'm like, yeah, you got to come and see this movie. You understand what it's all about. And so it was just a phenomenal production. The cast members were just great all around. And so, you know, for me, I forget things now. I mean, literally. And to be brutally honest with you, just before coming down, I had my cell phone. I went to press over a shirt, this shirt. I put my cell phone down on a towel next to the iron, and I said, don't forget to get your phone. I literally ironed the shirt and walked away and then started looking for my phone. So this thing is real, you know, and so I know that at some point in time, it may hit me. But I just made the greatest attempt to make the project the best that I could make it from an actor's perspective. And so, again, I thank them humbly for allowing me the opportunity to share my skill set with their vision. And
he aced that role.
Yeah,
I am sure. Well, look, when he was explaining working with you ladies, I was like, I second it, I third it, I fourth it. They are serious about their craft. Yes. And they are amazing at what they do. And it's the personal touch that I think makes everyone who's on set or that works with them feel so at home and comfortable. But at the same time, they're getting it taken care of. I have seen them at work and they are in the zone. And the casting and everything I want to ask you, Mignon, because you're on with us, is so who was responsible for the casting? And because I know that's a big part when you're doing these films, who you're going to put in these roles to make it land the way you want it to.
Yeah, Maya and I, we did the casting, the overall casting on it, and we were the casting directors on it. But there are people in our circle and in the film that have recommended good. So somebody's in there that's been by recommendation. You know, so people in this area, they recommended some of the actors here. Wonderful. We did the casting. Technically, we did the actual casting, but there were people tossed. Like the guy who plays Maya's brother, Fahim's grandson, he actually was referred to me by Fahim. You know, so, and he's a very good actor. He's a very good actor, but we have some other characters who was recommended to us. Yeah, so we definitely had a beautiful cast, you know, and then we have a whole fluke of people that we worked with prior to on other sets, such as yourself, because you're also in the Christmas Room. So don't think I wasn't going to mention that.
Well, I'm always just pleased to be and watch you all work. Let's say that. Part of the reason why this was perfect too is because Maya and Miana are a mother duo, a mother-mom duo, which is rare. But you all actually, and I've worked with you on other things, but you all have come together and worked so well on set and off set with just how you get people, pumped up to do what you do. I know Maya, you've helped me along the way because she's very professional and you would think, being the younger on set, but we all gleaned from her because she gave direction in such a way that you could receive it and hear. And I was like, okay, because she was like, okay, Miss Lisa, you got to pump it up. So I love anything that you all have been working on. For those who have been who've watched the show, we've actually advertised another movie that was called My Private Line to God, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I think Fahim was in that one as well, and Maya. So these are familiar faces. This won't be the last time you see them, and it hasn't been the first. But in regards to how difficult was it with you, Fahim, with the lines? How difficult was it for you to, be in that role? Because I'm sure it was challenging, and you've had some, I'm sure, bloopers on set and things like that. How challenging was that?
Oh, yeah. Well, don't buy that story that he's having dementia. Fahim is rocking it. Don't buy that he's aged, that he's forgetting. He was not. I can tell you the truth. Fahim was not one of the actors that we had to correct constantly or remind him. But go ahead and take it over, Fahim. But I'm telling you, don't be good.
I think that genuinely being brutally honest, it's that I've had an opportunity to play just before this. Yes. I had the opportunity to actually play in a role, a short film, and I was somewhat similar or parallel to this same kind of character.
Okay.
And so I was able to draw a little bit from that character and still be in that realm of thought process. So when it came down to this, it was like a continuation, so to speak, of where I was already.
Okay.
And so one of the things that I used was, sometimes you just have to go along. I YouTube people that have Alzheimer's and dementia, and just looking at how they're acting, their dialect, the dialogue, if there's a cadence that they're using, body language that they may be using, and try to adopt that piece so that I can be as real as I needed to be for the process. But what was very interesting is, again, when you have actors around you who know their stuff, and it was very easy because, generally speaking, Maya or Grace, being around Grace was really interesting for me because I got emotional a lot. Okay. And I had to kind of tame that because I genuinely thought I was looking at my granddaughter going through this. And although my wife was going through some stuff and trying to recognize what was going on, it was that emotion that I was drawing from my granddaughter because that's my baby. She's my darling. Certainly my wife is, and my son and my grandson, but she was my darling.
It's something about them grandbabies, right? It's something about them grandbabies.
And especially a granddaughter for a grandfather. It's like, they got this term now called girl dad. Well, I'm a girl granddad. And I just, it was very interesting, but I got emotional when I watched a little bit of the trailer. I got emotional because I knew what was going to happen. I know the outcome. I know everything. So it was very emotional for me. And just to see the love. And if I may, I'm always, the actors that we have, of course, you have Louise and Melvin and Tyson, along with myself and Grace. And those are our character names. And so I don't like to give out people's true names because they may or may not want that delivered. So I don't know. So I just stay with the character names. But everyone was just phenomenal. We were truly a family with a slight fragmentation because my illness was not recognized. And most of the time it's because I was going along as well, like everything was okay.
Right, which is part of that with dementia and Alzheimer's too. At least my experience with my grandma, she was really good at kind of camouflaging what was going on, because on some level I think she was aware that something was off herself. Mignon?
Oh no, I was just going to say, just like what Fahim said, the family, the Dorsey family, they are phenomenal. You know, they are a phenomenal family within this movie. So you will definitely see the whole connections with it. And then just what you just said about your grandma, it was your grandma. It's a scene in there that goes back to Fahim that once you see it, you're going to be like, this was my grandma.
Yeah.
There is a scene in there that you're going to be able to think back and say, this is just what Fahim was saying. This was my whole grandma.
And I think a lot of people are going to be able to do that. This is probably a good section where we can actually share a trailer with you so you can see what's in store, because we're definitely going to make sure that you all can get some tickets. There's still tickets available. So let's check this out.
I just can't wait to get home.
Who moved my toothbrush?
It's in the bathroom where it's normally kept.
No, it's not. Christmas yet? Is it Christmas yet?
Can't you see something's going on with him?
Why? Because he went for a walk and got a little bruise?
Don't you worry. Granddad'll be fine. Dad is aging, and sometimes seniors get forgetful with age.
Your wife mentioned that you've been struggling with remembering things lately. Is that true?
No.
Let's go to the Christmas room. Granddad knows who we are.
That had me ready, like right now. I'm just like, okay, can we just, let's
finish watching it.
Let's play it now. That looks amazing. You all were awesome. I'm excited about, so before we get into having some more conversation, I do want to get in for those who are dipping in and out. First of all, please share this with your family and your friends. Make sure they're in the room. But I want to share the information, and either one of you can share it. But where can they go to find out about how to get tickets? Because June 1st is the date that you all are releasing this, and I want people to be there. So let them know how they can get their tickets.
You all can visit instantseats.com and just search up the Christmas Room, and that's where you can purchase your ticket. I believe on our social media platforms, we also have a picture of the flyer up, and on the flyer is the QR code, and that will also bring you to the directly to the website for you to purchase your tickets. Sorry.
Wonderful. And I think we have the information of where it's located, just so everyone knows, Sharif, if you have that information. But it's a new screening location. It's Cheverly United Methodist Church at 2801 Cheverly Avenue in Cheverly, Maryland, 20785. So you all definitely want to go to Insta Seats, right?
Instant Seats, yeah.
Instant Seats. And get your tickets. June 1st is the screening date. And you all don't want to miss this. I have seen their film productions before. You are not going to be disappointed. And this is really touching for me because I can relate. And I think there are a lot of people out here that will really be able to relate to this film and will learn a lot about it, because I like the fact that you mentioned that we think of the typical symptoms, but you all will touch on things that you didn't quite think were symptoms of. And I know the experience for me, I can now, with a smile on my face, remember those moments. We had funny moments. I know that it can, be really touching at times. We had some really funny moments that I cherished during that time. So I'm looking forward to this film. And congratulations to you all. So I wanted to ask Maya, so how was it, if you've never, have you ever experienced this before? Because I know Mignon mentioned it was in the family, but how was this to kind of do this on film?
Yes, so my mom, she experienced this with her grandfather, and I experienced this with my grandfather. Okay. So playing the role of Grace and having my granddad go through the same thing my real granddad went through, it was definitely emotional for me, and it was challenging. Sometimes it felt a little personal, like I was talking to my real granddad, but I just tried to like channel all of that into Grace's character. And when I did experience my grandfather suffer from memory loss, I was much significantly younger, old enough to remember and have memories with him, good memories and stuff, but I obviously wasn't in college. So that was a little different because when I was younger, Mom, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't explicitly really remember anyone telling me that my grandfather was diagnosed with memory loss or dementia. But I do remember like seeing things that weren't normal.
Yes.
So I like younger me was able to pick up on those signs, and college Grace was picked up on those signs. So it was really parallel to my life, and that's yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Because Maya, you're so correct about that. So one thing I want to share and put out there, that this movie, The Christmas Room, is not a true story. Like, it's not a story about us. Maya and I both wrote the movie, but it's not a true story. We just wanted to bring more awareness to a lot of the signs and symptoms and people that, mainly not people that have gone through it, but we wanted to make it more bringing more people aware to it that haven't gone through it, that will go through it, because these numbers are skyrocketing.
That's right.
Back to Maya was very young when my dad was diagnosed with dementia. And I remember Maya telling me sometimes, when she would be over there, she would come home or call me and say, Mom, Papa, she calls him Papa. She says, Papa, Papa, this was not normal, or something Papa did or said or whatever. So she was younger, which takes me to, we have someone else that's close to us that's have like early stages of memory loss. So if you're paying attention to it, you see the process, the early stages of memory loss. That's right. What Raheem is trying to convince us that he may have, but he doesn't have it. So,
right.
But anyway, which when I go to, this person's house, if my granddaughter who's 13 with me, she knows about it. And this is why I'm hoping that people can bring their kids to see this movie, because when we go see this person that we know that's very close to us, her task is, when we get to that house, she goes to the refrigerator and she starts date checking things so we can get rid of things and to go to the store to replace things for them. And she was, I think, a little older than Maya at the time when Maya was.
Yeah, definitely. She's older.
But this is one of the reasons why, it's important to introduce it to children as young as you can now and explain to them, because if you do have memory loss, and or if somebody in your family keep losing things or misplacing things, and you hear them, like a whole week go past, they misplaced the cell phone, they misplaced the keys, cell phone keys. Don't take it lightly. It could be something going on, because most people don't want to play that game. They want their cell phone and their keys close to them.
That's right. That's right.
So you want to just, and start introducing it to these young kids, because as sad as it is, the youngest person that's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's now is 19, and you can Google it in China. So now when you think of a 19-year-old, now you want to think about the parents that have children, the 40-year-olds who have a 19-year-old. When you're asking your 19-year-old to get something and they keep forgetting, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to have Alzheimer's. I don't think right now. That number is just normal, just abnormally low. But there's a possibility because what's going on in the world is causing people to have memory loss. Because when we were 20, Fahim, when we were 20 and 30, our aunts and uncles in 50 and 60, we don't recall them a whole bunch of people around the whole neighborhood being diagnosed with memory loss, dementia, and Alzheimer's.
Right.
So it's something. And then we were just informed that Maryland has one of the highest ratios, so we have someone that's coming to the premier that's representing the Alzheimer's Association. So he will be there to answer questions and talk a little bit about it. And he's bringing some materials as handouts.
I love that. And I like that you make this a family issue, because that's exactly what it is. And I think that if we start younger where they can recognize it, because the other part of this that I'm sure the film is tapping into is that this is emotional for everybody, because there's so many even personal things that you're going through in the moment, where it's like the person who's going through this has their own journey to bear. But then there's also everyone else who's connected to that person. And I think I watched something on TikTok. It reminded me of a young lady that shares her mom going through some things with dementia, and that there are days when she says, I feel like I'm being a little selfish, but it hurts her feelings when she doesn't know who she is, or she's in and out of that. And so sometimes we take that personally. And I remember moments when I felt odd because it's just an assumption that of course you know who I am. And then when you realize they really are a little confused about that, it hurts everybody's feelings. You know what I'm saying? So,
And then, yes, that is a really good point. And then also when people are, it's kind of a thin line between ignorance and denial. But in the movie, you definitely see that the grandmother, once Grace starts pointing out signs, the grandmother starts to notice those signs, but she's still trying to brush it under the rug, and she's still in denial. So that's another emotional aspect that people go through. And then, once you come out of denial, pretty much no matter what you're in denial about, it's pretty rough, like trying to get back on your feet after you deal with the emotions that you were trying to avoid.
Absolutely.
Because another thing too in the movie, as you see in the trailer, and that's one of the reasons why I thought it was important to put that piece in the trailer. The brother who plays the role of Tyson, as you've seen in the trailer, when he stood up after Dad was telling him that something is going on with Granddad, once it started hitting home, coming to pieces, this puzzle started filling up with all the answers. When he says Granddad knows who we are, you see that part in the trailer. So whether you want to deal with it or not, and how young he was, so you still going to have to break it down and explain to the siblings, the little kids, this is what's going on with Granddad, or grandmom, whoever is being affected by it in real life.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to deal with it, no matter how young, and explain to them, because once it's been diagnosed, actually before it's been diagnosed, that patience got to be there. Somebody, you got to have patience, and you're going to have to pitch in, help out, or remove yourself, because it is a real situation. If you
it takes a village for sure. And I like the fact that you all are in those roles, like in real life, which I'm sure helped you in this, in this journey, being a grandfather, having a granddaughter, having experienced this before. I'm sure that really showed up in the film, and I think that made it even, more, real. So you would probably have a hard time convincing people that it's not a real story, because I think the way you all, really present it are actual situations that, because I mean, even in the conversation and with the trailer, I see all of those things. I even shared with you all before we went live that there were moments when I was really in my feelings, because her personality, my grandmother, we called her Gaga, but her personality changed. It was almost opposite of what she was before, and I was like, oh, she's kind of mean. So but we laugh about it now, but it was like, things where, and of course this is the matriarch, so it's like you can't challenge her. And at the same time, you're having to, kind of look out for her and things like that. So I really love that this is what you all are doing. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't know. I asked you all, were you excited? Because I know you are. But I'm sure everybody around you, and that's one reason why we're here too, is because I want to spread the word. You all really have to go check this film out for many reasons. And to me, making people recognize symptoms or behaviors or things, even at a young age, with the role that Grace, she's a college student, but she's paying attention. And I think this actually, to me, touches on the fact that we're losing sight of taking care of our elderly family members. And this granddaughter is in tune with her grandfather, even outside of people who are with them every day. Because sometimes it's harder to see it when you're right on top of it. Yeah. And she comes home, and realizes, hey, something's a little off here.
Yeah. One of the things that I really like to point out is that we are once an adult and twice a child. Mm-hmm. If God allows us to live long enough, let's just put a benchmark at living to age 100. Well, we're once an adult and twice a child. And how does that work? Well, as a parent, I am obligated to take care of my child from infancy to age 18. Mm-hmm. It is my job to train my child to be able to reciprocate that same obligation of 18 years. And the way that I'm able to do that is to train them that should something happen to me where I'm not going to be totally myself, or I become that second child again, which is typically from age 82 to 100. Mm-hmm. That's when these things really start to happen, where the children are now taking care of their parents.
That's right.
And so at the end of the day, my job is to train my children to recognize the need for them to be more involved in my life as I'm getting older, because they're going to have to take care of me. I will forget something. I may forget to take a bath. I may forget to eat. It is your job now as my child that I've trained to help me through that process. And through Alzheimer's, we have to follow that script to be able to say, hey, this may happen. And if it does, are we prepared to address the issues? And so I really, again, can appreciate the project, knowing fully well that there's going to be people there in the audience who are going through it, who've already gone through it, who've had the experiences. But for me, the selfish part is my mom is going to be here. And so I want my mom to know that should she had to experience this, that she's trained me well enough to move forward to do what I need to do. So I think it's imperative that we're going to have a representative to talk about this after the showing of the movie, because we have to get our questions out and we have to really fully understand who we are and how we're going to become a better people for our people as we're getting older.
I love that.
Good.
Yeah, it was phrased good.
Yeah. I learned so much from even the experience with my grandmother. With the other appreciation from the experience was that we learned so much, that I know so much more now on what to look for, because as a younger person, and then my children with me, they were able to witness it. And so now if they see something, they're going to know something. Whereas before, like Mignon, you said before, you think it's, old age or we're just getting older. So things happen, but we're going to learn to know the difference between something that's forgotten, because I've forgotten things that I won't tell you some of the stories of what I've forgotten.
Yeah.
And it was just that I was just tripping, but I've been on my phone looking for my phone. So that happens, y'all. That happens. That's right. I shouldn't have said anything. But I'm good though. But and then you have to remember that as you get older, even people thinking about themselves going through it, like, is this that? Is this? It can be kind of scary to experience things and try to figure out where this is. I know my mom, coming out of taking care of my grandmother, started to do things to keep her mind busy. So, we teased her about playing Candy Crush, but that was one of the things that she, started to pick up doing just to keep your mind active. And we never think about things like that being something that you need to do, because it seems frivolous. But when you start to learn about things like this, you're like, oh, well, no, that's not frivolous at all. We can't let our mind just kind of get stagnant and stay still. We really have to keep working those, those muscles and making those wheels turn. So This is going to be amazing. Congratulations to you all.
And I'm telling you, thank you. And I've gone to the doctor when somebody I know had to get an assessment, and I'm telling you, the questions they were asking them, I was saying to myself, darn, Mignon, you need to get checked for this because you might need to get checked for this because I don't even remember some of the stuff they were asking during the time that they were asking how they set it up. But it's very important. And if you in the movie, Dr. Reed, you know, she's in the movie, she's a wonderful actress who played the role, and she's in the trailer. You can see how compassionate she was, you know. So that's another thing that you definitely want to make sure, you know, just it's a couple things, you know, you want a compassionate, knowledgeable doctor on one hand, you know, who can just be in tune and sympathize what you're going through. But then you may not get that doctor in real life who's compassionate. So this is where I tell people, don't focus on the messenger, because everybody's not going to serve you with a nice smile and holding your hand with the binky in your mouth, you know.
That's
but
right.
Don't focus on the messenger, just focus on the message, you know. So get them checked out. Don't wait.
Absolutely.
Another thing I want to say is that for all the viewers, for when you guys do come to the premiere,
that's right.
I want something I don't want to go over you all's head is the emotional support that family has to have. Everyone's pretty much touched on it and mentioned it during this podcast so far, but I just want to really reiterate that compassion, patience, and a lot like empathy, love, like you really have to heighten all of those for whoever it is who's going through this, because like as Lisa, you said, it's kind of above them. Like if they don't recognize who you are, it's not really like, you know, it's not their fault.
Right.
So you do have to set certain emotions to the side, and in the movie you can definitely see how that it's not easy on the family members who are helping granddad, but you definitely see that people are trying to be patient and work with him and stuff like that. So I also want people to take a note of the emotional aspect as well. For
absolutely.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. I was at a basketball game, 50 and over basketball league, and I showed the flyer to, you know, I put the flyers, I gave everybody a flyer, right? But I showed the flyer to one gentleman in particular, and I asked him to see his phone, and I let him see the trailer, and he really got emotional. And I was telling him, you know, about the film and where it's going to be shown. And he said to me, that's tough. I don't know if I'll be able to make it because my dad went through that. And I remember that. And so I said to him, healing starts with first understanding that the reality existed. So if you come, then you'll probably get an opportunity to start your healing process even more. And then I did tell him, because I knew that we want to have a representative, I said, there'll be someone there who can talk a little bit more about it. He said, well, I'll try to make it. Whether he does or not, the fact of the matter is that I was able to feel his pain. Yeah. And I told him, say, hey, man, come on through and let's just, you know, let's make a family thing out of it. Let's just talk about it. It's real. This is real. As Gracie said, get your butt to this show on June 3 o'clock. You know, what is it? Cheverly United Methodist.
Absolutely, and it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story to help somebody through this type of thing, and it's not like any particular family might not go through this. This is anybody could go through something like this. So that's why I think this is so powerful. I remember I didn't know anything about dementia or Alzheimer's before my grandmother went through this. So my mother was that pulling force that said, okay, so we all want to embrace this and figure out what we're going to do to take care of each other. But I also remember the movie, which I don't even think, to what you all were saying, or Maya, especially you were saying about going over people's heads, because I don't even think people realize that even the movie was The Notebook, that's what that movie was centered around. I think they, you know, a lot of people totally missed it at first. They just thought, oh, this is a cool love story. Yeah. But really, if you watch it again, which I've watched it 1,000 times, it's one of my favorites, but it really is speaking to the same thing you all are doing is speaking directly to that. And I think once you get into that mindset, you can really kind of see, you know, how this can affect the family, how this can affect the person. My use went directly to what I was thinking about with the patience and the compassion, because there will be some frustrating times in dealing with things like this, and we all have to do better about it because we can't take it personally, like you said. Because I know I did a few times, and you know, we laugh about it now, but I was serious. Like it was bothering me. So I that's why I think this is such a wonderful topic to touch on. So like I said, I'm excited to see it.
We're excited too.
And I think everybody should be there. They have tickets available and you all need to get it before the tickets run out. So I need you all, and we'll put the information back up on the screen, instantseats.com. You all need to go. The Christmas Room.
And this is the only screening.
This is the only screening. So you don't get
the red carpet premiere and everything.
Yeah, they go all out. Let me tell you, they go all out. But this is your one time to see this. I know with there's been other films where you had an opportunity, but not with this one. So that means that you need to be there on June 1st. What I wanted to, Mignon?
What was I going to say, Maya?
See, that's it. That's it right there. That's it.
No, seriously, Lisa. What was I going to say?
Because it happens. It'll come back to you.
It'll come back to me.
Okay, yeah. Because after 50, I always said if it comes back, cool. If it didn't, then it just won't.
Here it is. It's here. So going back to like, without saying the whole scene, there's a part in the scene that's important because there are a lot of people in the world that have multiple siblings. You know, you have 2, 3, 4, 10 siblings, and there's one that's actually tasked with, because no one else has stepped up to the plate. So if you come to the movie, you'll see or hear the scenarios, but if you can't make it, and this is for the viewers, siblings, please help that one person, you know, because it's nice if the whole family can pitch in and share the responsibility and go through life thinking that could be me or that could be somebody in my group. So I'm going to help this person, but help out, because it can be a lot for one person, and you'll see that in the movie. But if you can't make the movie, siblings out there, join efforts, join hands and help your siblings, you know, because it's you never know if it's going to happen to you or someone in your group and you're going to be needing the help.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And that ties right back to what Mr. Fahim said about being an adult once, a child twice. Yeah. And training your kids to grow up and take care of you when you're no longer to take care of yourself. And that doesn't apply to the oldest or just the middle or just the youngest.
Yeah.
All those kids should be all hands on deck.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that from experience. I was sharing with you all when my grandmother was going through what she went through. I started to do some research on it and had discovered that a lot of times the caretaker will experience some health issues that sometimes can be worse than the person who's going through it. Yeah. And for that reason, I actually, and this is just me being personal with it, I had 2 children. I packed up my children. I released myself from my lease at my apartment and said, Mom, we got to move in together, because there are moments when she needed her breaks and I needed to be there for her. So it truly is a family affair. And I think that that's why the experience was more manageable for us, because we were able to be there for each other. As opposed to one person being there and having to handle all of it all alone, because it can be a really huge load. But us being there together and explaining to the children why Gaga doesn't remember you or calls you someone else's name, and that it's not personal, I think helped them to deal with it.
Yeah, because I have a friend who actually several years ago, about 4 years ago, she called me and told me that her brother was diagnosed with, he was missing, and then 3 days later they found him. And when they found him, he had full-blown Alzheimer's. And unfortunately, you know, he's in what do you call it?
Is it hospice?
Like
or-
convalescence.
Hospice. He's in
Hospice,
hospice.
Hospice.
You know,
Yeah.
and he's like early 50s. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Early
Wow.
50s. So he's now in hospice, and so it's like at any age, you know,
At any age.
until they know what's really causing it, you know. And we're not saying that anytime you forget something, it's automatically Alzheimer's or memory loss. It could be just something as simple as brain fog, but with the CAT scans, and they can determine if you're on a path for that. So you want to rule it out. So now you know, but yeah, just
Absolutely.
So
I wanted to take us, we usually kind of touch on to the Power Shut Up, but I really wanted you all to know about this film. The other thing that we do to kind of empower people into the next week until we meet again on Thursdays is we have a TikTok moment, because I absolutely enjoy some of the videos that you see out there on TikTok. They can be very entertaining. Some of them can be a little much, but I actually enjoy some of the TikTok videos. So I have a TikTok moment that I want to share before we come back, and we're going to find out how we can stay connected to you all and follow the journey of the Christmas Room. But the first step in that is that you all need to get your tickets, but we're going to be right back. We're going to have this TikTok moment, and then we're going to come back and find out how you can stay connected.
What time it is? Yours. You have felt overlooked, undervalued, not seen, but you have continued to do the work. And God is about to show them publicly what he's been working in you and through you privately. Yep, they're going to start asking, who is that? And you're going to tell them who I've always been.
So if you all haven't seen her, to give her, you know, Chris, she does an amazing job with her videos. Michelle Lopez, I think is her name, but she has some dynamic videos on TikTok and I believe Facebook and Instagram. But I love to find some of her videos because they actually help motivate me. So that's our TikTok moment. But I want you all to let us know how we can contact you on social media or any websites, YouTube channels, so they can stay connected with you. And then we're going to remind them again of where they can get their tickets.
Raheem?
I can be located on Facebook as well as Instagram as Fahim Sadiq Abdul Salam. And that's my Facebook and Instagram handles. And I'm going to say it again. If you forget to come to this show, I'll see you. And I won't forget to kick your... Man, just come to the show.
That's right.
And you're going to enjoy yourself. We'll see you when you get there. Come on, take pictures with us. Hug, have a great time. We're going to have a great time on June the 1st at 3 o'clock. See you there.
You can follow me on Instagram at MayaJ04. Yeah. Oh, and Facebook.
Yeah, she's one of the few young people that got a Facebook page.
Oh, what are you saying? Wait a minute.
We're young with the Facebook page, right?
That's what I thought. I was like, don't take my young away from me. No, just kidding. I'm trying. Don't do that. And Mignon, where can we find you?
I'm on Shooting Future Stars on Facebook, Shooting Future Stars on Instagram, and Maya's and my our film production company is on YouTube under LoJ Productions.
Yes. So
Productions, yes.
You all can, and we will continue to over here at the Power Shut Up podcast, promote, share their flyer, any more upcoming films that they're having. So before we leave, is there anything else we have to look forward to that you can share with us at this moment? Do you have some things that are coming up the pipeline? Anything you want to share?
Well, yeah, I would like to say that we are going to be, we just wrapped up, well, not just wrapped up, but just finished with post-production on our movie, My Private Line to God. You mentioned that already. So keep an eye out for that, for the premiere. I'm going to be working on a short film this summer, and we also have a thriller movie that should be done by the end of the year. We haven't started with it yet. Keep an eye out for that, especially if you're interested in auditioning or even being an extra set of hands on set. But keep an eye out for this thriller movie because this is a little different than the typical type of films we do. But I'm super excited because this is my favorite genre, and I've been itching to do something like this.
I didn't know that, so I've learned something new about you. I did not know that. I'm excited about
psychological thrillers.
Yeah, and so this is another reason why you need to stay in contact with them because they do not get much sleep. They are constantly working, and I would love for Mignon really quick before we say goodnight to share with them. She even will sometimes, she is in the lane of helping young people who are trying to, embark on the business. She has amazing information, skills, resources. So she's being humble this evening, but she is a huge resource if you're interested in that area. And I like that they provide opportunity to those who are up and coming. Yeah. Everybody hasn't seen them. They're not, and I take that as such a huge strength and bravery because they're not scared to bring somebody new in. And it's amazing some of the people that you all have run across that other people are sleeping on. Because you gave it a chance, you gave an opportunity, you opened the door for being open to others. Because I know there are a lot of people out here that wanted to, just one opportunity, and they do that with their production company. They give opportunities to people. So thank you for all that you all do in the industry.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you for having us. So we have we're hoping to produce about 3 films within the next year. And coming up this sometime this year, I'm coming out with my 3rd book, and it's called Transitioning from Teen to 20. Preparing for Adulthood. And the log line is, if you think you're grown, leave my home. But before you go, you need to know what's in that book.
Okay. I love it. Oh, that sounds like some words I haven't used.
Right, but and I'm hoping to reach the target area, high schoolers, teens. So with that being said, I'm excited about that. That's coming down the pipeline. So y'all stay tuned for that. And
that's a bestseller.
That's a bestseller. If you think, you know what? We all have kids. If you think you've grown, leave my home. But before you go, you need to know what's in this book. So that's coming soon. But outside of that, in terms of movies,
congratulations.
Thank you. So we do have several movies on the pipeline that we're going to be trying to get done. And going back to the very beginning, I want to also use this moment to thank all of the actors who actually donated their time, contributed their time, and shared their skills, and was a part of the Christmas Room. I really appreciate that. And then going back to Fahim, I know you thank us for having you, but we want to, having you, but we want to thank you for all you've done. Because when I tell you from the camera person, the editors, because we have multiple editors, the camera person, the editors, other people that have seen it, Fahim, the feedback I get back from the trailer, on Fahim, and that's not even the full trailer. And I want to say thank you to all the 14,000 people who have been looking at this trailer, because I'm really surprised and thankful that, we have 14,000 not followers, 14,000 views from this teaser alone. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of good feedback on, the teaser. So Fahim, thank you for, because like Fahim said, I'm gonna go back real quick. Like Fahim said, when we first saw him in action, Maya was in the movie that he's in, a short film, and it's called The Flip Side. So Fahim did a phenomenal job there, and we were on a virtual audition or table read, and Maya and I saw him, and we have history. Fahim and my family have history, but we were like, this is Isaiah.
No, yeah, we knew really, like from watching you, we knew immediately. We knew.
We knew when we saw him on the virtual, table read with The Flip Side, and I actually was the casting director for that short film too. But yeah, so that's why it's good to show up and show out and jump into character. And even if your other table readers don't do it, that's your only chance. You never know who's working on which project. Don't sleep, because we're coming after you.
Well, I know that's right. They coming. Don't sleep on them either. I'm just telling you, wake up. But thank you all so much for joining us on the Power Shut Up podcast. You are always welcome here. As you know, we look forward to what else is to come, and you all go get your tickets June 1st. Be there. I want to hear back from you all on how you enjoyed this film. So I'm looking forward to it. And congratulations to you and the entire cast and crew. I'm looking forward to it.
And one more, Maya, and I love you being my partner, baby.
Thanks. I love as much as people, as many people who might not be able to say this, I love working with my mom.
Best daughter mom team I've seen by far on this type of thing, on this level here. So
and Maya's dad, backbone. That's
oh, y'all are a family. Look, y'all are a family.
Well, yeah, people don't know we're a trio.
The family is in it together. I like the way.
Yeah.
So thank you all. And Lisa,
I love that you all work as a family, but I did want to say, it looks like our signal is a little weak, but before we go, I wanted to just say, are y'all with me? I think we're losing.
Yeah. We're with you.
We're here. Can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted to just say before we go, the signal is going in and out, but I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the moms. Get your flowers, okay?
You
and
too.
Happy Mother's Day.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll see you
for
next
having
week.
us. Okay.